Have you ever felt like punching a wall? Or maybe you have actually punched a wall in anger or frustration, or maybe you've just seen someone else do it. I have, and it was a very scary thing for me just to observe. So I think it must have been even more scary for the person actually doing it. So I'm curious about how someone might get to that point, because I don't think everyone wakes up in the morning and thinks, yeah, I'm going to punch a wall today. Well, everyone, anyway. When we see explosive anger, we usually focus on the explosion, the shouting, the slammed doors, the physicality of the situation, the hole in the wall. But that's not where the story begins. It's just where the story becomes visible. And these outward explosions are often rooted in an inner experience. Somewhere along the way, many of us learn to carry things, emotions, experiences, without ever really processing them. Disappointment, humiliation, fear, powerlessness, grief, not because we're trying to ignore them, but because sometimes we just don't know what to do with them. So we just keep it moving. We try to make things happen. We work on relationships with others, not necessarily with self. And maybe we think that we can help other people, and we become almost afraid to stop, to take time out to look inside, never stopping to look inwards, until one day something seemingly small happens. A comment is overheard, a disagreement. Someone cuts you off in traffic, someone spills a drink, and suddenly the energy is released. Not because of that moment, but because of everything that came before it. This is why I think explosive anger is like smoke. When we see smoke, our instinct is, oh, there must be a fire somewhere. We know it's a sign that something underneath is burning. And we can direct our energies into trying to control the smoke, not really productive, or we can explore how did the fire begin. Now, years ago, I had the pleasure to work with someone who changed the way I perceived explosive anger. A person of color, grew up in a racially hostile environment. The racism not only shaped how they saw themselves, it also shaped the opportunities or lack thereof that were available to them. Finding a job was made very difficult. So finding a place to live was made difficult. And just feeling safe, which to me is a human right, felt like an impossible achievement for them. Then there were the experiences that no adult should have to go through, let alone a child. And for most of their life, they carried the weight of these experiences alone. But they just kept going, just kept it moving, surviving, not thriving. But the pressure was building. And eventually, anger became the language, violence became the language, and the consequences of this followed. But I learned to look beyond this, or maybe it's beneath this. And this is what has stayed with me, that despite everything, they are still here, still trying to make ends meet, still trying to make sense of the world around them. It's almost as if we have this innate drive in us that keeps us reaching for the light. And that has told me something else, that just because anger has become the expression, it doesn't mean that anger is who you are. Sometimes it's simply a sign that buried experiences from your past are reaching for that light. They want to come into your consciousness. They want to be heard. And when that emotional pressure builds, you feel it. I know you do. Your breathing changes, your jaw clenches, you might even become a little dizzy. And if that happens, this is when you don't just keep it moving. This is when you stop and notice it, listen to it. Because in that pause moment, you give yourself the choice to either continue with the old narrative or become curious about a new one. If you've ever looked at yourself or someone you know or love and wondered, how did I get here? Or how did they get to that point? I hope this conversation has given you a different perspective on that situation, not as the whole story, but maybe just as some of the opening chapters. So, to help you move forward with this, I've created a guide for you that's completely free. It's called Introduction to Explosive Anger, a starter guide for men. It's 8 pages designed to help you understand what might be happening beneath explosive anger that you can download and work on in the privacy of your own home. You'll find it in the channel description. It's the Gumroad link. Let me know if you have any problems downloading it. And as always, stay curious.